Civil Council, Justice of the Then on his departure, he was retired. His date of appointment was 1st of August 1972, and the date of death is 24th of October 2024. Next is Her Worship Tazoni Mudham, who had departures on his festival magistrate and was appointed on the 1st of May 1986, and her date of death is 20th of November 2022. Meanwhile, His Worship Sukabali is served as First Lord Magistrate. He was appointed on the 10th of July 1996, and he went to be with the 17th of February 2024. Next is His Worship Victoria Tulipasu, who also last served as First Lord Magistrate. His date of appointment is the 26th of November 2001, and left us on the 21st of March 2024. We have His Worship Godfrey Kwazulu, who served as Second Lord Magistrate, and the date of appointment is the 1st of December 1986, and left us on the 20th of March 2025. Next on the list is His Worship Andrew Chikwazulu, who last served as Second Lord Magistrate, and was first appointed on the 5th of November 1998, and departed on the 17th of October 2024. Next on the list of the bench is Her Worship Lillian Kangwai, who also last served as Second Lord Magistrate, who was first appointed on 18th of July 1994, and to the 12th of November 2024. Chief Justice welcome Chief Magistrate to lead the rest of us all. Madam the Chief Justice, of the whole bench, protocols observed. Let me proceed to read out the reason for the propositions as submitted by the Union Senate. To end of the evaluation, this the ones that is the departed hand at the time they voted. So the first one, this is Mr. Gato Dr. Kaiwaza. He was admitted to the bar in 1980. And the first session was received was Kaiwaza, and it says he departed on the 24th of January 2024. What's the Kayako behind? He was admitted to the bar in 1987. The last sensation received was Kayako. So, this was Thomas Career. He was admitted to the bar in 1987. The last sensation received was the office of the president and cabinet. He passed away on the 29th of October 2025. Next, we have the Chief Justice Serafia Casanova Seo provided the lessons showing served to he was admitted to the bar in 1992 and he passed away on the 7th June 2024. Next, we have the Chief Justice Professor she was admitted to the bar in 1992 and the lessons she received was Catholic University of Miami. She passed away on the 20th of October 2024. The Chief Justice next is Mr. Nelson Otunga, who was admitted to the bar in 2011. And, the last institution he was serving was Total Energies. He departed on the 7th of September 2025. We have Mr. Tony Lemucha, who was admitted to the bar in 2013. The last institution he worked for was Michael and Morris. 10th of November 2025. My Lord the Chief Justice, the next is Mr. Peter Minjari, who was admitted to the bar in 2017. And the last institution he worked for was John Tennyson and Kawilo Lawyers. He passed on the 29th of October 2025. My Lord Chief Justice, the next is Mr. Chikumbuso Halawa. He was admitted to the bar in 2019. The last institution he served was the Anti-Corruption Bureau, and he passed on 17 September 2023. We have Mr. Ian Kumpita, who was admitted to the bar in 2019, and the last institution he served was AYM and Chambers. He departed on the 1st of January 2024. Lastly, my Lord the Chief Justice, we have Mr. Ronald Kuchipanga, who was serving at National Police Headquarters, and he was admitted in the year 2021, and he passed on the 29th of October 2024. Thank you, my Lord the Chief Justice. Let me pass it over to the Director of Ceremonies to proceed. Thank you. Lord Chief Justice, my Lord Deputy Chief Justice, or Honorable Justices of Appeal, at this juncture, it may please you to lead the court into a minute of silence. Thank you, my Lord Chief Justice.
Let us stand up and observe a minute of silence. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Shall we resume our seats?
Thank you, my Lord Chief Justice. On the program, the next item is addressed by the Honorable Attorney General, but in terms of precedent and protocol, the next to speak should be the President of the Malawi Law Society. Thank you, my Lord.
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, all Justices of Appeal present, Justices or Judges from the High Court, all worships, the Honorable Attorney General, my learned colleagues, starting with Senior Counsel and all other members of the Malawi Law Society, representatives of the bereaved families, ladies and gentlemen. Before I give my few remarks, there is just a few housekeeping issues that I would want to bring to the attention of the honorable gathering. It is important that these corrections go on record. To start with, the late Galton Dr. Kainja was awarded senior counsel, the honor of senior counsel, posthumously. It is therefore only right that there should be a C at the end of his name. He's number one on the list of departed legal practitioners. Similarly, the late Wes Kaira, the last institution that he worked for, I'm informed that he was the principal secretary in the Ministry of Lands at the time of his death. And then lastly, the late Professor Ngei Kanyongoro. You see the admission year has been put as 2010. Even in 2010, I had practiced the law for 10 years. So that should be an error. She was actually admitted in 1992, I'm informed. Those are the corrections that I thought should be made in honor of the departed. My lords and everyone present in this court, we gather this morning not in the usual manner in a court of contention. We gather in a court rather of commemoration. Today, we are not here to cite sections from the volumes of laws. or to raise objections and make submissions. Today, the books are closed. Today, the robes have taken a different meaning. Today, the law bows its head. For we are here to honor the 18 men and women whose names have been read. These are men and women who wore the same robes that we wear today, who sat on the bench, who stood at the bar, like some of us. These men and women between 2022 and November 2025 were saved with a different kind of summons, a summons which they had no option but to answer. And this summons awaits each and every one of us. We shall surely come to accept those summons and sign out in final acknowledgement. These men and women were not just names, but they were mentors. They were classmates to some. At times when they represented the other parties to disputes, they became opponents, albeit briefly, because they remained through and through colleagues and friends. They were the steady hand on a brief, the patient ear in chambers. They were the firm but fair voice on the bench. They argued at times, they adjudicated, and they taught. And in doing so, they truly earned their right to be called true ambassadors and emissaries of the law profession. And today, it is only befitting that we sit to remember them. For those of you who believe in God, the scriptures remind us in the book of Ecclesiastes, verses 1 and 2, that there is a season for everything, a time for every purpose under the heavens. There is a season. And today, we sit in acknowledgement of the passing of those seasons. Indeed, the scripture says there is a time to be born and a time to die. The law has often been referred to as a jealous mistress, in that it demands the best out of us. It demands our quality time. It demands our nights. It demands our weekends. It demands our thoughts and even our minds. But the law also gives us purpose. It sets us apart. As Justice Thurgood Marshall, the famous judge, once said, in recognizing the humanity of other human beings, we pay ourselves the highest tribute. The departed colleagues that we honor today paid that tribute in their works, in the judgments that they drafted and crafted, in which they sought to protect the rights of the underprivileged and the weak, in the defenses that they filed, where they sought to speak for the voiceless, and indeed in the lectures that they delivered, which illuminated the way for young minds, some of whom are with us in this courtroom. I will mention just three of the departed names. Mr. Raf Kasambara, Senior Counsel. We all know how he fought in the courts representing a lot of clients. I should also indicate that he was my lecturer in civil procedure at Chancellor College. His contributions to the legal profession are well recorded in the law reports. Associate Professor Ngeika Nyongolo was not an ordinary lady. She taught a whole generation of lawyers, and her greatest contribution was the lesson that the law is not just about the statutes, but justice, social justice. And then, it would be remiss of me not to mention Justice of Appeal, Duncan Tambala, who I had the honor of appearing before for the first time when I had a chamber matter in the Supreme Court of Appeal. He showed all of us that dignity on the bench is not just in the title, but also in how one carries oneself in and outside the courtroom. Each of the names that we have read today were builders. They put a brick on the cathedral of our legal system. Today, alas, the builders are gone, but that cathedral still stands. The Roman statesman Cicero is also quoted as having said that the life of the dead is placed in the memory of the living. Therefore, the call on us today as the living is to be diligent custodians of the memory of our colleagues. Let us strive to argue our cases with civility, to judge with compassion, and to serve with nothing but the highest levels of integrity, so that when a time like this comes in future, because it shall surely come, when a sitting like this is convened and our names are read out, everyone shall be in chorus that those are going to be men and women who added to the respect and honor of the law, not people who diminished the respect for the law. To the families, my Lord Chief Justice, allow me to break protocol and speak in Chichewa. Akubanja pepani. Ife ngati oyimirira anthu m'makhoti, ngati amene timagamula milandu m'makhoti, amene tinagwira ntchito ndi okondedwa anu, tsiku la lero chathu ndi chimwemwe chifukwa chakuti Mulungu anatipatsa abalewa tinagwira nawo ntchito. Muone zomwe tikukamba tsiku la lero ndi zowasangalalira abalewa chifukwa cha ntchito imene iwo anagwira. Tikudziwa kuti mawu athu sangathe kubwezeretsa abale amene inu munataya. Anali abambo, anali amayi, anali achimwene, anali achemwali. Koma chimene mungatenge tsiku la lero ndi chakuti ife abalewa sitidzawayiwala. Ndikudziwa kuti ambiri mumapemphera, mukatsekula Baibulo ku Masalimo 23 ndi 4 amanena kuti ngakhale ndidzayenda mu chigwa cha mthunzi wa imfa, ine sindidzaopa choyipa, pakuti inu muli nane. Abalewa sanaopa, anayenda ndi Mulungu, anagwira ntchito yawo mopanda mantha. Powakumbukira ifenso tidzayenda chimodzimodzi, ndiponso tidzaopa chifukwa tikudziwa kuti Mulungu ali nafe. Kumapeto kwa zonse, may I switch back to wish the souls of our departed brothers and sisters that they may rest in eternal peace. And we, the living, may we serve justice faithfully, fairly, and with dignity. I thank you, my Lord.
Mr. President of the Malawi Law Society, I now invite the Honorable the Attorney General to take his turn to address the court.
My Lord, the Chief Justice, Honorable Residency Commander SC JA, my Lord, the Deputy Chief Justice, Honorable Justice Love Mopo Chikopa SC, your Lordships and Ladyships, the Justices of Appeal here present, the Honorable Judges of the High Court, Your Honor, the Chief Registrar, the Acting Chairperson, the Deputy Chairperson, and also Assistant Registrars here present, all worships here present, the court's administrator, and all members of staff of the judiciary, the chairperson of the Malawi Law Society, all senior counsel present, learned members of the bar, distinguished families of our departed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. We gather here today not in contest as observed by the Malawi Law Society president, but indeed in communion, not to persuade, but to praise. This memorial sitting is a rare and sacred occasion where the machinery of justice pauses and the legal heartbeat of our legal fraternity is heard in collective mourning and thanksgiving. On behalf of the government of the Republic of Malawi, and in my capacity as the Attorney General, head of the bar, I rise with profound respect and deep sorrow to honor the memory of our departed colleagues from both the bench and the bar, those who left us between August 2023 to the past few months. My Lord Chief Justice, I wish to begin by addressing the families of the departed members. Thank you for sharing your loved ones with a nation that often demanded too much of their time, their wisdom, and their hearts. Today, we return to you a portion of the honor they earned. In respect to the bench, my Lord Chief Justice, to sit on the bench is to accept a lonely burden, to speak not for oneself, but for the law. Our departed judicial officers carried that burden with distinction. Justice of Appeal Duncan Tambara, SCJA retired. Not only did he interpret the statutes, but he was the conscience of a nation yearning for justice. His judgments were easy, were essays in equity. May his legacy echo in each and every decision that he delivered while serving in our domestic courts, as well as in the African court in Arusha and the Comesa court in Zambia. His Worship Sokabanda, he was a rare first-grade magistrate. He understood that the subordinate courts are the first point of call in the access of justice in this country. And particularly so for the ordinary citizen. His patience on the bar was legendary, and his fairness was absolute. His Worship Mtundwa Tampasu, she knew that justice delayed is justice denied, and she worked tirelessly to clear the dockets of the vulnerable section of our society. His Worship Andrew Chinkodzore, as a second-grade magistrate, he was very diligent, and in his courtroom, no litigant was invisible, no accused was forgotten. He proved that titles do not determine temperament. My Lord Chief Justice, His Worship Godfrey Kudzule was a quite methodical and unshakable judicial officer. He reminded us that most Mostly justice happens not in grand appeals, but in careful daily adjudication in the subordinate courts. My Lord Chief Justice, Her Worship Maria Nkandawire, serving as a third magistrate, but was of infinite grace. She showed that the heart of justice is compassion. In her service to the nation, she planted seeds of integrity that will outlive us all. And to all these honorable departed souls from the bench, I say, your benches are vacant. But your authority over our reverence is eternal. We gather today to thank God for your lives and impact on us. My Lord, let me now turn to my colleagues on the bar. These were warriors of the law. These members of the bar were not only our learned friends, siblings, but they were sharpest advocates in pursuit of justice. Mr. Gatton, Dr. Kainja SC, he was at best a learned senior counsel. He was a lawyer of his own caliber. He did not just practice law, but he dignified it. The silk that now he wears in memory is woven from pure intellect and unwavering principle. Rest in peace, Honorable Senior Counsel. Mr. Kandako Muhone, he was a legal practitioner as well as a lecturer. I sat in one of our drafting classes. I bear testament to the fine legal mind that he was. He was quite meticulous and trusted, and many young lawyers owe their first breakthrough in drafting of documents, including pleadings, to his quiet mentorship. Mr. Wes Kaira, he was another fine legal mind. The first boss I ever had when I joined the legal aid after graduating from Chancellor College, when he served as the chief legal aid advocate at the time. His passion and service to the public service cannot go unnoticed. He was a prosecutor of integrity and a public servant of the highest order. He still lives at the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, having served in almost all the departments under that ministry and impacted on lives of fellow civil servants and ordinary citizens. We cannot forget him, and we hear his echoes every time his name is mentioned in the corridors, as he was fondly known as Wezi. Associate Professor Ngei Kanyongolo, my Lord Chief Justice, she was that teacher. Where the majority of the lawyers today, my Lord, will bear testimony that they are who they are because she dedicated her life to training lawyers. So for decades, Associate Professor Ngei Ruth Kanyongoro stood before lecture halls at the University of Malawi, shaping young minds into lawyers, advocates, and guardians of justice. So many of us in this room, and so many members of the bar and the bench, sat in her classes, learned from her wisdom, and were challenged by her intellect. She did not simply lecture, she taught law, and she mentored. Her legacy walks among us every day. And after a long and distinguished service at the University of Malawi, she assumed the role of Vice Chancellor of the Catholic University of Malawi, bringing yet another vision, grace, and academic rigor to another institution. But her heart always belonged to the vulnerable members of society, especially women. She gave voice to the voiceless and fought tirelessly for the rights of women and girls in our nation. She also founded and served as Vice President of the Malawi Law Society. She lent her wisdom to countless boards. Mr. Dalitso Upire Ntambo, a young, brilliant, relentless legal mind. By day, he was a lawyer, and yet by night and in between, he was an artist. The bar loses a colleague, the music scene loses a creator. Her family lost a husband, a father, a son, a sibling. But Malawi lost a man who refused to choose between the law and the lyric because he was both fully and beautifully. Mr. Tony Michael Lemucha, my Lord Chief Justice, he was a steady hand in turbulent matters. Colleagues trusted him with their hardest cases because he never dropped a brief and never broke a confidence. He was a counselor properly so called. My Lord Chief Justice, Mr. Peter Minjare, was a lawyer, very dedicated, diligent, and trusted by those who sought his counsel. But those who knew well remember that the courtroom was not only a stage, he also had a gift for music. And when he sang, he brought people together. The melodies he shared remain in the memories of our colleagues and friends and family. He was but a good man, a good counselor. Mr. Chikumbutso Harawa, his name means remembrance. As a corruption, fraud, and money laundering expert at the Anti-Corruption Bureau, he fought the scourge of corruption with courage and competence. And indeed, today, we remember him in that special way. His work will continue to inspire all those who battle graft in this nation. Mr. Ian Kumpita was an advocate of a kind for which stakeholders of justice, including colleagues, will always dear remember. He humanized the bar. Heaven's pro bono dockets just gained a star because he did a lot of pro bono cases for the marginalized members of society. My Lord Chief Justice, Mr. Ronald Bladok Kachpanga, who we fondly called Ronald, left us far too soon, early in his journey as a lawyer, when his path was still unfolding and his best days were still ahead. Even in that short time, he made a mark. Colleagues who worked alongside him speak of his dedication, quietness, strength, and refusal to cut corners. He understood that the law is not just about winning. It is about honor, integrity, and service to those who trusted him. In closing, my Lord Chief Justice, this sitting is not merely a ceremony, it is a declaration that our justice system is not made of stone or paper, but of people. And when people fall, we pause, we mourn, and we give thanks. And last but not least, my Lord, Raphael Kasambara SC. I wouldn't find better words that would define him or write about his legacy. But at best, I would say he was the Lionel Messi of our time in the manner in which he brought finesse in the practice of the law, and also the level of intellectual arguments that he brought in our midst. Again, to the families, your loved ones did not just hold office or practice a profession, they held the scales of justice, which they made sure were steady whenever winds of injustice blew. And today, we honor their services to this great nation. And to all of us seated here today, my Lord Chief Justice, our comfort is in the fact that these departed colleagues will live through their work forever. Their wisdom were eternally inscribed in our judgments and in all their publications. To our departed colleagues, may they continue to rest in eternal peace till we meet again in God's glory. God bless the Malawi judiciary. God bless the Malawi Law Society. God bless Malawi. Thank you, my Lord.
Thank you very much, Honorable Attorney General. And just to preface my remarks, I would like to join both the President of the Malawi Law Society and the Honorable the Attorney General in the remarks that you have made so eloquently in honor of our departed colleagues. My lords, my ladies, that includes justices of appeal and High Court judges here present, the Honorable the Attorney General, the President of the Malawi Law Society, all senior counsel present, distinguished members of the families of the departed colleagues. As you might sense, this is not just a long tradition of sitting in special sessions to remember departed colleagues, but it is also a moment for us to truly demonstrate our love and remember those who were so close to us, whom we worked so closely with, and indeed whom we loved. About 2 years and 7 months ago, in this very courtroom, that was on the 28th of September, 2023, we conducted a similar special court sitting in honor of the distinguished sons and daughters of the soil who served the country well in the profession of law. We paid tribute to them as legal icons who had pursued the legal landscape with honor and dignity. So for us, a special sitting of the court in honor of these exceptional sons and daughters of our soil is a judicial way of celebrating their illustrious lives as legal professionals. And today, we memorialize the eminent individuals whose names were called out from the roll of honors, who passed on after providing service to this country, service to the justice system, service to our society. And we have to do these proceedings so that the exceptional lives, work, and service of the departed colleagues constitute and remains a permanent record of this court for generations to come. That is why we must inscribe their names in the roll of honors. My lords and my ladies, I wish to extend my profound appreciation to all who have come to court to witness these auspicious proceedings, especially our dear members of the families of the departed colleagues. We thank you, members of the families of the departed colleagues, in a very special way for your having lent us these illustrious colleagues and putting them at the disposal of the nation, even though you had wanted them to be that close to you, but they had to divide their time between their families and their work. Let everyone know that these colleagues made immeasurable contribution to the advancement of the law, to the advancement of the rule of law, to the advancement of democracy, to the advancement of the protection of our Constitution, as well as to the advancement of the principle of judicial independence on which our democracy is anchored. They knew that as officers of the court, they had to protect the independence of the judiciary, which is a constitutional imperative and a public good. They had to advance the cause of the rule of law. They executed their responsibility as officers of the court with due diligence, humility, courage, commitment, and determination. These proceedings are a celebration of the exceptional lives of our departed colleagues in the profession of law. In no way do we intend to rekindle hurtful feelings of their passing, but rather want to emphasize that we celebrate their illustrious lives. To the profession of law, these distinguished colleagues may no longer be with us in this world, but they live on through their exceptional contributions in the development of the law, as evidenced through various judgments and law reports. Even members of the bar articulated the law as they argued their cases, and that went into the judgments. My lords and my ladies, it is right and proper that as a judiciary, we pay homage to our beloved professional colleagues who passed on after having rendered exceptional service to our country. They deserve a befitting tribute and a special place in our legal history. It is not only professionally right to do so, but it is also humanly right. We ought to celebrate their lives and their work as we honor their memory. Beyond being distinguished professional colleagues, they were loving and caring human persons, sometimes with unique sense of humor. A permanent record of these proceedings immortalizes these our colleagues. We honor their memory with love and sincerity. We view the list of our departed colleagues not as mere statistics, but we take a moment to reflect on the uniqueness of each one of them, Each one of them was endowed with exceptional talents, which in turn were utilized in a special way to make special contribution to the development of the law in Malawi. Each one of these colleagues went beyond being a statistic and became a contributor in a profound way to a better legal system and a better Malawi that we have today. In a way, they immortalized themselves. My lords and my ladies, it is fair to say that each one of us has some very special thing that we can say against or in the name of each one of the departed colleagues. The uniqueness and the exceptional contributions they made. Time may not allow us to do so in this sitting, but we know that each one of them left a positive, impactful, and honorable legacy. They are sons and daughters of the soil to memorialize and celebrate. They ought to be honored and remembered by us as a bench and a bar. Again, not just as a tradition, but a display of true love for them. Like I said, it is not possible to enumerate all the outstanding contributions that they made. It is fair to describe each one of them as quintessential judicial or legal icons who pursued the legal landscape with honor, dignity, and humility whilst observing integrity. The enormous contribution each one of them made were impactful, memorable, and worth of emulating. They gave their best not only to the court and clients, but also to the profession itself and to the society at large. Their meritorious service remains admirable. Many of them mentored aspiring lawyers, leaving behind a footprint of professionalism, courage, and fairness. The pace of justice in our country in this day has over the years improved because of their immeasurable contribution. We have every reason, therefore, to be proud of these distinguished sons and daughters of our land, as they represent an epitome of justice and the rule of law. Our country continues to receive international recognition in the administration of justice and in upholding the rule of law. And we cannot fail to attribute such success in our legal system to our departed colleagues. They truly deserve a place of honor. We want to honor the memory of all these selfless, hardworking, caring, and loving individuals. Their impressive accomplishments must inspire us to seek to do better at all times. These colleagues will be remembered for their patriotism, professionalism, humility, courage, and excellence in their contribution to the rule of law, constitutionalism, democracy, and good governance. My lords and my ladies, as we celebrate our colleagues who passed on, we must remember that they used their best skills in preparing for court, best skills in arguing cases, best skills in writing judgments, best skills in drafting our laws, best skills in guiding business as corporate lawyers, and best skills in all their professional work. It is the use of those best skills in doing the right thing to develop the law that has helped to develop the law in this country and to develop our country as well. It is those best skills that have helped us adhere to the rule of law. And it is those best skills that have profoundly changed our country for the better in the last few decades. The colleagues we are celebrating today did all to the best of their abilities and never sacrificed precision, clarity, and technical excellence. They were fine legal minds we should emulate. Generations to come should emulate. They are examples of persons who fought for things they cared about and did it in the right way, in a way that would lead others to join them. And in all their efforts, they remained true to the law without being blown around by some wind of uncertain direction. And some of them developed public personalities as men and women in the public arena and served in the public arena. There too, they excelled. They significantly contributed to our progressive constitution, a firmly established and outstanding legal system of Malawi, a judiciary that must be a prestige to all of us, even as it continues to win international acclaim. Courage and true love for the law and for their motherland is what these distinguished dear colleagues displayed. My lords and my ladies, this very courtroom was the stage where many of the departed colleagues performed and displayed their extraordinary knowledge and abilities in the law. It is significant, therefore, that we are holding this session in the very place they practiced the law. They defended the Constitution, human rights, and the rule of law in this very arena. Yet they remained polite, probing, warm, generous, even as they balanced their roles as professionals and as members of their families and society. Again, we ought to remember them and memorialize them. Allow me, therefore, at this point to bring these proceedings to a close with a direction that they form a permanent record of this court. Each one of their names, the names of the distinguished departed colleagues, be clearly inscribed in the honors register or in the roll of honors, which will be accessible to members of the public from time to time and upon request. I thank you, and may the court rise at this point.
We may get seated. An announcement. The Honorable the Chief Justice would like to pause together with the bar, but also members of the families for the departed. Would like to pause for a photograph at the stairs. When we get out of this courtroom using the door on my left, you'll find stairs there. That's where we'll pause for a photograph. Ofuna ndilegeze kunena kuti chakomera olemekezeka Chief Justice kuti amakamera atenge chithunzi cha iwo komanso maloya amene ali muno kuphatikizirapo inu amene mukuyimirira mabanja anzathu amene anatisiya. Ndiye tikatuluka panjapo kugwiritsa ntchito chitseko chimene chili kumanzere kwanga tipezapo mastepe apo pamene chithunzicho chitengedwere. Ndiye tisachoke kufikira titachita zimenezo. Zikomo kwambiri. Thank you.